if you've ever tried to read the Bible from the beginning, you know it's not as easy as it sounds. So I want to help you understand what to do with those first 5 books. Now, in Jesus' day, they were called the Torah, or you might read it in English, the law. That's what he's referring to. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And basically, I want you to think of those 5 books as God's introduction to the world. It's God saying, hey, here's who I am. I'm the creator. I started everything. And because I started everything, I get to pick who are the people we're going to pay attention to. And that's Abraham's family. And you're going to watch Abraham's family now for the rest of Scripture. And God says, Abraham's family gets this land. I'm giving it to them to inhabit. And then you get to Exodus, and God goes, all right, it's time to introduce myself to the world. And I'm going to do it in an amazing way. And that's where those 10 plagues come in. And that redeeming his people out of Egypt. And that sets the stage then for everyone knows, and they talk about for decades and centuries later about what God did with his showdown in Egypt. And then he has them build the place where he's going to live. If he's going to be their God, he needs a place to be with his people, to live and reside. So they spend the rest of Exodus talking about what his house is going to look like. And then Leviticus, as hard as that is, that whole book is about God saying, hey, I want you not only to be my people and live around me, but I want you to come as close as you can to me. I want you to come as close as you can into my house, but you have to do it safely and you have to do it in the right way. And here's some things you need to know about who I am and how to be. And then Numbers and Deuteronomy, it's okay. It's time to go get that land. So Numbers is setting up the stage of go get the land. Let's see what's going to happen. But we all know they fail. And so then Deuteronomy is Moses at the end of his life saying, all right, we're back here again. We're going to try to get the land. Your parents, that other generation, didn't do it. It's your turn. And this is Moses at the end of his life telling his people, here's what you need to remember. You have a choice. Basically, you have 2 choices, obey or not obey. If you obey, that's choosing life. You will live and have amazing blessings. If you choose to disobey, that's choosing death. And there's consequences, there's curses, there's bad things that happen with this. But Moses says, here's the thing. In the end, God knows you're going to struggle. You're not going to do it perfectly. But it's okay, because one day he will come back and he will change your hearts so you can completely obey. So, as you read those books, especially Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, ask yourself, what is God telling the people here? How is he telling them to be different from the world? How is he telling them to worship him? Basically, what God is doing, it's like when your mom says clean your room, and I'm going to tell you everything I want in a clean room. In order for you to avoid punishment, in order for you to avoid the consequences, here's everything I'm going to look for. Or maybe you don't have to clean your room, or you just know what to do automatically because you're super neat and tidy like that. It's like when your teacher at school gives you an assignment and says, hey, if you want that A+, here's what I'm looking for. If you want a C, here's what I'm going to look for. And if you want to fail, don't do anything. That's really helpful, isn't it? When your teacher or your mom says, here's exactly what I want. Here's how you get the good grade, the reward. Here's how you avoid consequences. That's what God is doing in Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. He's making sure they know everything he wants from them. And it's not to be mean. It's not to be cruel. Just like your mom's not trying to be mean or cruel, or your teacher's not trying to be mean or cruel. They know you can do it. They have expectations. There's things you need to learn as you're growing. And God says, you're a brand new nation. You've never lived in freedom for 400 years. You've been slaves. Let me help you out. Here's what it's going to look like. You're going to be my people. Here's how you're going to do it. So as you read the Torah, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, that's how I want you to think about it as you read. So thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you next week.